Okay, so what about using language for peace and for learning in those situations that are really emotionally charged when students or teachers are feeling really pressed upon, struggling with maybe repetitive behavior or outrageous behavior, something where there's a lot of emotion involved or danger. And statements of fact, simple invitations aren't enough. You're really needing an in-depth, heart-to-heart kind of talk to grow through the situation, right? And so coming out the end with an improvement in behavior, a new understanding of the teacher-child relationship or the classmate relationship. In those situations, using non-violent communication is great. I use it in my classroom with children that aren't even 2 yet. It's great with adults, great with people of all ages. The term nonviolent communication, the concept of nonviolent communication, is attributed to Marshall Rosenberg. And it's used widely to help people communicate more effectively and with more positive outcomes. And it's pretty simple, not always easy. Might take some time to get in the hang of it, but it is very simple, and I highly encourage you to master this skill with everyone in your life who you're feeling frustrated with. So the process is just 4 steps, and the overreaching goal is we're going to express our needs and look for the person hearing our needs to understand them, to be able to connect to them, and in the end, have a positive outcome of change behavior or better collaboration. And you can learn more at cnvc.org. It's got wonderful resources. Okay. So there's a problem. In this situation, we're going to use running with the scissors. Now, there's learning that has to occur too, right? That's not acceptable. So in this scenario, we're assuming that the child has been taught, where scissors can be in the classroom, how we carry them, how our bodies are when we have them, all right? So when we're using nonviolent communication, in a first situation in a classroom that's frustrating us, usually it's because we think the child, should know better, should have learned it by now, knows the information, but is choosing not to be safe with the scissors. Okay. So the first step would be to state what you observed. Julie, I saw you running with the scissors. Okay. 2, state your own feelings and own them. So, I statements. I feel worried when you run with scissors. Right? Then I'm owning my feelings. I'm not saying you scared me or you made me, right? Especially for a young child, that wasn't their intent. They weren't running with the scissors to scare or worry you or to put people in danger. They're not making anything happen, right? Your reaction is, and with good reason, to be worried and concerned about this, but own that, right? So I feel worried when you're in with the scissors. Okay. Number 3, express a universal human need. I need to be safe. A universal human need is a need that all humans have. And you can go to cnbc.org for not an exhaustive list, but a very long list of needs that everyone has. So everyone needs to feel safe. I need to be safe. Then you're going to make a request. There are many ways to phrase this. One would be, would you be willing to walk with the scissors? Can I trust you to walk with scissors? Can we agree to keep our friends safe by walking with the scissors on the tray? Or whatever your method of safe scissor handling is. I find, especially with children who are in that no stage that just like the power and the thrill of saying no, and they're just practicing the power of this word, that you'd be willing might be less effective than the second two. Can I trust you to walk with scissors? Can we agree to keep our friends safe by walking with the scissors on the tray? I really like, even with very young children, young 2-year-olds, that asking for an agreement, can we agree to keep our friends safe by walking with the scissors on the tray? Later, if they forget, they don't have the impulse control, and they do it again, then you can say, oh, remember we agreed. Works really, really well. So notice what nonviolent communication avoids. It avoids making the child feel guilt or shame, right? Guilt and shame cause a mental and physical stress reaction that make it more difficult to learn. So we avoid shame. We help build emotional intelligence because we're talking about our feelings, right? And sharing our feelings. And it's not manipulative, right? We're speaking the truth. We're being honest. We're not saying, oh, you make me super sad and I just can't, be a good teacher when you're running with scissors. Like, something real dramatic. You're just saying, I feel worried, right? Simple and true. And not trying to shame them, make them feel guilty. Just like, hey, here's a situation, and these are my feelings. I own them. And I have those feelings because of this need that's not being met right now when children are running with scissors. And so what can we do about this? Okay, this works great. You can practice it with your own children. You can practice it with your significant other, your friends. Because sometimes people can't relate, including children, to why you don't like the action, right? But they can relate to feelings because they've had those feelings, and they can relate to needs because they're universal needs. So I encourage you to go to cnbc.org to learn more and to implement this strategy with everyone in your life, even the youngest of children, even non-verbal children. Remember, practice makes progress.